Welcome back to our regular viewers, and thank you for joining us for our fourth episode of the season. If you are new to our podcast, a new peer ally, or new to the workforce, we are glad we found you. This podcast is for behavioral health clients, consumers, advocates, allies, peer support workers, community health workers, and community stakeholders, where we talk about advocacy, recovery, peer support, and provide education related to legislative changes to statewide policy to empower you as a client, consumer, or ally to lift up your voice as a stakeholder in the public behavioral health system. With me today are my awesome Access California program teammates.
I'm Jocelyn. I'm Grace Gallagher.
And I'm Nichole Chilton. And you'll notice a new addition to our team joining us as our advocacy coordinator. 1 week on the job. Second day, we made a road trip up to Red Bluff with him on his second day, and on his third day, we had an event. So he's just going full steam ahead. His name is Marco Ramos. Marco, you want to say hi?
I couldn't be happier to be here.
Thanks, Marco. We're thrilled to have you as part of the team. And you're probably also wondering about this lovely individual sitting next to me as well.
Hi, nice to meet you. I'm Nichole Rosendo.
Another Cal Voices program manager. And we asked Nichole to join us to share about her program and all things related to advocacy, client engagement, and shared decision making within her program. We started this podcast off by talking in our first episode a little bit about advocacy and what that looks like within services. And then we went to our next episode talking about the public behavioral health system. And so now we really just want to kind of wrap that all together and talk about what that looks like within Nichole's program and within her team and what they're doing. So let's get right into it. Nichole, would you mind sharing a bit about your program and what your team does?
Sure. We are peer community health workers. We're contracted with Kaiser Sacramento. Our role is to reduce unnecessary emergency room visits. So there are a lot of Kaiser members that come into the emergency room and they're looking for services that pretty much the emergency room can't provide. Services such as housing assistance, food support, or help with substance abuse and mental health connections. And basically, what this was doing was costing Kaiser millions of dollars each year. So, what we do as peer community health workers is we help connect those members to the right services and resources. We also collaborate with the person's primary care teams, and we try to create a whole health plan that addresses their mental health, their physical health, and social wellness. So, in addition to that, we also run several support groups as well as provide one on one peer support and counseling. Within the first year of our program, with just two peers, we were able to actually save Kaiser over $1 million.
Wow.
So,
Wow.
yeah, thanks.
Yeah. Well, thank you so much for sharing that. And mostly, thank you so much for the work that you're doing in that program. That program is so vital to our community. So it really means a lot to have you on this podcast to share your experiences with that. So we recognize that advocacy skills may grow and change over time, person to person. So can you share how your team models advocacy within your services? I know you touched a little bit on it, but can you elaborate more a little bit?
Absolutely. So when we meet with our members or with the Kaiser members, we identify the barriers that are kind of preventing them from accessing the services they need. And then we work with them to overcome those barriers by collaborating with agencies and just trying to build that, bridge that gap between the client and the services. And so some of the things we might do would be providing transportation if they needed it, attending their appointments with we attend appointments with the clients for that extra added support. We assist with paperwork and submitting documents. So, as an example, we actually had a member who didn't feel like her medication was helping her and she wanted to explore other options. However, she felt like her psychiatrist wasn't listening to her or she wasn't being heard. Her needs weren't being met. And so we were able to support her and help her advocate for herself so that she can get her medication changed and her needs met.
That's amazing.
Thank you.
Yeah, absolutely. Some pretty next level stuff there. And with that in mind, we talked about some staff modeling advocacy. Can you share some best practices for engaging with clients in their own advocacy and shared decision making?
Sure. This is when our peer support skills come into play. We share our personal stories and we inspire hope to our clients. We remind them that they know themselves better than anybody else. And so they're in control of, their own journey. We also reassure them that they are not alone, that we're here for the support and to support them. We encourage them to learn about the issues that they face so that they have all the facts before moving forward. We empower them to ask as many questions as they need, and we help them reflect on what worked for them in the past versus what hasn't, just so they can build on their own success. And we even role play scenarios to help them feel confident about going into stressful or difficult situations. And so, one of the things we do as well as an added bonus, kind of serve as that cheerleader at times and a shoulder to lean on if they need it.
Awesome.
Yeah, that cheerleader aspect within peer support work is something that I know is near and dear to my heart, and keeping that hope alive within in services and accessing um, and overcoming their
Absolutely.
situations. And
Yeah.
so,
Yeah, and that those personal stories that inspire the hope. I think that's something so distinct to our work that makes it so impactful is that we do have those stories and we can encourage hope because we've been there. So yeah, it's just a wonderful thing.
Right. Thanks.
yeah, so we talked about best practices for engaging clients in their advocacy and shared decision making. What are some barriers? In real world, things happen, um, systems, documentation,
Mhm.
whatever that is. What are some of those barriers to that process?
Well, really, many clients don't even know where to start. I mean, the whole process is pretty overwhelming. Some have negative experiences with the system, so they don't trust providers or services. And for a lot of members, the decisions about their lives have been usually made by family members or agencies or medical professionals. So they may not even believe that they have the power to advocate for themselves.
For sure. Yeah. So, just highlighting that not having trust in those providers and services, I know that's something we see a lot when we go to our access events is people have those same stories that you're telling now. So it's just super important that we are that space where they feel comfortable sharing their experiences and the grievances they have with being hospitalized. Um, so, as your team lifts up these areas or barriers within the services, what are some ways or solutions your team implements to overcome those barriers? And I know you've talked about it a little bit, but just going in deeper.
Yeah, no problem. So we show them how we've overcome barriers in our own lives. We reassure them that they don't have to do it alone. We are here to help. We help them create individualized plans to help them achieve their goals. And we walk alongside them as they work towards those goals, offering moral support or encouragement. And so we also act as a soundboard to help them process new information or ideas. And so over time, this approach will help the client build confidence and independence in managing their own health and well being.
Awesome. Yeah. And just that the walking alongside them approach is just, it's so important because most of the time you go to these doctor's visits or you're hospitalized and you don't hear from the doctors again after you leave. So it's so important to have that peer support going with you along your journey so that you're not alone in this, because we need to emphasize that they are not alone in this. We've been there and we're here to help them. So yeah.
Yeah, thanks for sharing that, Nichole. Absolutely, that sounds so beautiful and empowering, being able to support clients in that way. So considering those solutions and just kind of reflecting on that work that you're doing and navigating those challenges, the successes that you have, are there any other like program highlights you'd like to share with us or upcoming changes? And this could be related to clients or staff, program implementation, um, anything along those lines you'd like to share with us?
Yeah, we have expanded our team. So we recently added a sixth peer, which allows us to serve more members.
Yay.
So we're really happy about that. We've actually updated our weekly art group with exciting projects that we have planned. And we have a monthly bingo group with fun prizes. We started a food closet to support members with non perishable items. And this year we plan to provide holiday dinners for many of our members. And we're really excited about these additions because it expands the reach and the depth of support that we can offer our members.
Awesome.
That's
I love
amazing.
to
Yeah,
hear
I
that.
didn't know about the art group. I'm really excited to hear about that. That's new to me. So thanks for sharing that. And thanks for being with us today.
Thank
You're our first podcast guest of the season. So this has just been really wonderful having you. So thanks for being here. Thanks for sharing with us, Nichole. And I think if any of our listeners are on the fence about peer support or aren't really sure what it is or why it's valuable, you've provided a really good, really beautiful, convincing case that
Right.
peer support is it's necessary, it's impactful, and like I keep saying, it's beautiful work. So thanks, Nichole.
Yeah.
Thank you. Love what I
You
do.
said it beautifully. I couldn't have explained it better. So
Yeah.
thank you.
And then as we end every episode, we like to share with our listeners what we have going on and ways that you can get involved. So if you've been following us for any length of time, you know that we are doing our behavioral health transformation workshops right now. We just came back from Red Bluff last week, which was an amazing experience. I love going to the rural regions, and so that was wonderful being up there in Red Bluff. We're about to head to Oakland next week. Following that, we will be in Costa Mesa on October 16th. So if you're in Southern California and you haven't registered yet, the deadline is coming up. The deadline to register is October 6th. And then we will be back in Sacramento on October 30th. And that registration is actually full. We're at capacity, but we do have a wait list going. So email us, you can get on the wait list and hopefully join us for that event. And if you're not able to make our in-person events, we have some virtual events coming up as well. Our next policy update webinar will be on October 9th, where our policy director, Maron, will share what's going on with current legislation and the ways it might be impacting you and ways to get involved. And then next January, looking ahead, we have our annual statewide conference coming up. We're really excited about that on January 23rd. So if you joined us last year, we would love to see you again. If you haven't joined us for a conference before, we would love for this to be your chance to come and get to know us and get to know our program. So save the date for that, January 23rd. And then, as always, continue to follow us through our podcast, through our mailing list, so that we can get information out to you, not only so that you're up to date, but also so that you are empowered to be able to advocate along with us.
Yeah, thank you, Joss. So as she explained a little bit, please join us next month as we discuss the impact of the behavioral health transformation in rural areas of California. We did just go to Red Bluff and we got some really, really valuable insight and feedback. So we really want to share with that. And thank you for listening. We look forward to hearing from you as we start our online poll soon, and we will see you next time.
See you next. Thank you, everyone.
Bye.
Thank you. Bye.